Today's topic is source, reservoir and transmission of pathogens. To know about the source, reservoir and transmission of the infectious agent, that is pathogens, first of all you have to know about infectious disease cycle. This infectious disease cycle starts with the infectious agent. This infectious agent, nothing but pathogen, first reaches the reservoir which carries the infectious agent to the host. So when it first reaches the reservoir, from the reservoir it escapes. So the mode of escape is one of the thing here in the cycle, and the mode of the transfer to the susceptible host, and next mode of entry into the host, and the susceptible host again releases infectious agent. So this is the infectious disease cycle where infectious agent enters into the host to produce a number of infectious agents, causing infection to the susceptible host. So it takes the help of reservoir and it enters into the host, causes disease in the host, and again releases the infectious agents out, and this infectious agent again affects another host. So this is a infectious disease cycle. So here the first thing is source or reservoir. So sometimes reservoir acts as a source. So this two comes under second link in infectious disease cycle. First one is infectious agent. The second one is source or reservoir. If these two were eliminated or prevented, then transmission will be prevented. If this reservoir is absent, or if the source is absent from where the infectious agent comes, then completely the transmission will be prevented. So what is source? What is source? Source is the pathogen from where it comes. Pathogen comes from the source and enters into the host directly or indirectly. If directly it enters into the host, it occurs through the environment. If indirectly it enters into the host, it occurs through the intermediate agent. Means some agent carries the pathogen from source to the host. This source may be animate or inanimate. Animate in the sense it may be humans or animals, or inanimate in the sense it may be water, soil and food. Means animate means comes under living organisms. Inanimate means it's like a non-living organisms. Okay. Next, coming to the reservoir. Reservoir is the place where pathogen resides. Reservoir is the place where pathogen stays over there. So in some cases, the reservoir acts as a source. The source may be animate or inanimate. Mostly humans acts as a source of the pathogens. Humans acts as a source of the pathogens. So this acts as a carriers. So means we can say the reservoir means it is a carriers. So this reservoir plays an important role in the epidemiology of diseases. So reservoir carriers are of four types: active carrier, convalescent carrier, healthy carrier, incubatory carrier. Active carrier is the carrier which possess the infection in their body and carries the pathogen to the other persons. So this reservoir is like a carrier. So the infection happens to that reservoir and this carries the infectious agent to the other organisms. Convalescent carrier. So this carrier humans will be recovered from the disease, but the infectious agent is still present in their body. They are still continue to carry the pathogens to the other organisms. What is meant by healthy carrier? Healthy carrier is not ill, means they don't know they have the pathogen, but they carry the pathogens to the other organisms. Incubatory carriers. Incubatory carriers are not at ill, means they don't know the carrier, means they are acting like a carrier, but they carry a large number of pathogens to the other organisms. Means they incubate the microorganisms for so many months, years, etc. Okay, means like these carriers can carry pathogens for hours, days, weeks, months, years or lifetime. Okay, so it can be carried for short periods or it can be carried for long periods. If it is carried for short periods, such type of carriers we call it as casual carrier, acute carrier or transient carrier. So if this pathogen was carried for longer periods by the reservoir, such type of carriers we call it as chronic carriers. Okay, if the pathogen is carried for a shorter period, we call such carriers as a casual, acute or transient carriers. If the pathogen is carried for a longer periods by the carrier means such as months, years or lifetime, if it is carrying such type of carriers we call it as a chronic carriers. Animals also carries diseases to humans. Such type of diseases we call it as zoonosis. In Greek we call zoon as an animal and osis as a diseases. So these are animal carrying diseases. Humans are caused by these diseases. Zoonoses are also called as zoonotic diseases. Okay, zoonoses are the animals which causes this disease to humans, and the diseases are zoonotic diseases. So these diseases are caused by different ways, either by direct contact by touching the animal flesh. Means if we touch that animal which is having the infectious agent, we can get the such type of diseases. Example, tularemia. Or by drinking contaminated cow's milk, we get some few diseases like tuberculosis and brucellosis. Next, by inhaling dust from the contaminated animal. If the animal was contaminated, by inhaling the dust of this contaminated animal, humans get few diseases like Q fever, hantavirus and anthrax. If the humans are bitten by arthropods like vectors which carries the infectious diseases, may cause few diseases like mosquito causes malaria, and ticks and mites also cause some infectious diseases. If animals are bitten by diseased animals, it leads to infectious diseases like rabies. So finally, the major reservoirs are water, soil and food, which are commonly carry the infectious agents to cause diseases. Coming to the transmission. Transmission is important for maintaining infectious diseases. If the transmission is not there, it will not infect the other organisms. This we call it as a third link in the infectious disease cycle. It occurs mainly by 4 main routes. Okay, first one is airborne, second one contact, third one vehicle, fourth one is vector borne. Airborne. First one is airborne. Airborne means the infectious agent is not present in the air. It definitely comes from human, animals, water or soil. It is mostly in the form of droplet nuclei. Droplet nuclei is nothing but it is a part of droplet, where droplet is a large particle made consisting of 10 micrometers in diameter or more, or this droplet nuclei is a small particle which is the evaporation of this droplet, which is of about 1 to 4 micrometers in diameter. We can also call this droplet nuclei as a dust. So this droplet nuclei remains for hours or days and it travels long distances. For example, chickenpox and measles. Organisms which cause chickenpox and measles are transmitted in the form of droplet nuclei. This transmits like an airborne transmission. If source was humans or animals, what happens? Coughing and sneezing transmits the pathogen into air. Coughing and sneezing transmits the pathogen into air. This one we see in a COVID-19. Okay. And dust is an important route of airborne transmission. Dust is an important route of airborne transmission. Next one is contact. If the source or reservoir and the host comes together or touches or comes in contact with each other, this is nothing but contact borne transmission. Contact may be direct or indirect. In direct, this all comes under, and in indirect, intermediate is present between the host and the source of the pathogen. This intermediate is inanimate and the source is animate. Inanimate in the sense this intermediate contact will be done with the help of this intermediate. So it is called as indirect contact transmission. So this intermediate is inanimate. It may be a thermometers, means the transmission is done with the help of a thermometers or eating utensils or a drinking cups, etc. So this acts as an intermediate between the host and the source of the pathogen. Next one is vehicle transmission. In vehicle transmission, inanimate materials or objects carries the pathogen. This carry the pathogen less than a meter. So this type of vehicle which carries the pathogens, we call it as a fomites. These are also called as common vehicles. For example, food and water are the most common vehicles for human diseases. Next, vector-borne. Vector-borne is a living organism which transmits the pathogen. This living organism acts as a vectors which carry the pathogen. So these vectors may be arthropods or vertebrates. If it is an arthropod, it may be an insect, ticks or mites. If it is a vertebrates, it may be a dog, cats and bats, etc. Vector-borne transmission may be done internally or externally. Internally, the vector carries the pathogen. Internally means it is an internal vector-borne transmission. Vector carries the pathogen externally means it is an external vector-borne transmission. So, internal can be again divided into Haber-Ray's transmission or biological transmission. Haber-Ray's transmission, here no morphological or physiological changes of the pathogen in vector is seen. In biological transmission, morphological and physiological change is seen. For example, for this Haber-Ray's transmission, rat flea affects human with this was the source and this was a host, and this is a infectious agent, Yersinia pestis. This is the infectious agent which travels from this source to the host and causes a disease called plague. This comes under the internal vector-borne transmission, means it enters into the body but there is no morphological or physiological change of pathogen in the vector is done. But in biological transmission, the morphological and physiological changes means the life cycle of this infectious agent changes in the vector itself. For example, malarial parasite. Malarial parasite will be having a life cycle in the vector. Half of the life cycle of the malarial parasite is done in the vector. So this comes under internal vector-borne transmission. Coming to the external, vector carries the pathogen externally, means outside the body, means on the body part, on the surface of the body part, it carries the infectious agent to the other organism. For example, Shigella organisms is carried by a flies from fecal source to the plate of food which person eats. Okay, this Shigella organism carried by the flies. The flies carries the Shigella organism on their feet from fecal sources to the plate of food. So this transmission is done externally. So this is about source, reservoir and transmission of pathogens.